Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, I'm nearing the end of my gay movie marathon, and I finally got to Bohemian Rhapsody. Now, this is kind of the first time I've seen it. I saw it in the cinema, but unfortunately, something went wrong, and just as Freddie takes the stage at the end at Live Aid, the screen went to black, and the music continued, and I thought that was the end of the film. I thought something had gone wrong with the credits or something because the screen was just black and the music kept playing, but I didn't realise until afterwards that they actually recreated the whole set and the whole scene. It all plays in the film, so I just saw that for the first time and it was amazing. The film was a huge hit. It cost 55 million. It made over 900 million. So I didn't realise how big of a hit it was. I mean, I knew it was a hit, but I didn't know it was that big. In comparison to Elton John's Rocket Man, which cost 40 million and only made 195 million. I saw both. Rocket Man was, I found the sort of clashing of musical and drama. I wasn't really prepared for it, so I didn't know going in if it was a musical or a straight drama, and it was sort of both. Whereas Bohemian Rhapsody is a straight drama with music, and I think it works a bit better. It feels a lot more real, obviously, although there are a lot of criticisms of the film for them taking liberties with the events and that, and I that always happens with biofilms and historical films and that, so I didn't really care too much about it. But I was just looking through the Wikipedia and I discovered that one of the characters, and I won't ruin it for other people who don't know, but one of the characters in the film didn't exist. Now, whether they just didn't want to get sued and basically wrote someone who's basically exactly like someone and then just gave them another name and just created that character so they could get away with it, I don't know. I hope the scenes that he was in and all of that actually happened, and I kind of want to look into it, but I kind of don't want to find out that some of the best moments of the film actually didn't exist or didn't happen. So I don't know. I've watched a couple of documentaries on Freddie, but not really so much on the history of Queen, because I was like a post-Queen baby. I wasn't around in that era, like the Elton John Queen sort of Kiss era, obviously, and I didn't really appreciate what they did and how big they were. Neither Elton or them. So watching the film was pretty amazing. I mean, my knowledge of Freddie Mercury was he was gay, he had AIDS, and he died in 1991. They re-released Bohemian Rhapsody. I knew that it had been a hit and they'd had a lot of hits, but it was really big in, I think, late 91 was when they re-released that after he died. He died in November, I think, of 1991. And I had a friend in 1994 who had Queen, The Greatest Hits, either Volume 1 or 2, and she would play some of the songs from that. So songs like Who Wants to Live Forever and I Want to Break Free, I sort of knew those songs a little bit. That's about it. And it really wasn't until the film that I sort of appreciated just how big they were. Same with Elton. I had no idea. I did Google at one point to see how many records he'd sold and stuff like that, and I had no idea. The first hint of it was when I saw a comparison. Normally you see Madonna compared to other women, but then they just did a greatest like sales and touring thing, and I saw how big Elton was with the record sales, and I had no idea because I just knew him from Club at the End of the Street from then on, and he had a greatest hits album that my sister's boyfriend lent me in the 90s, so I had a bit of an idea of his music, but I had no real idea. So the film was great. It basically goes from 1970, Bohemian Rhapsody goes from 1970 to 85 when they perform at Live Aid, and they show, you know, the basic formation of the band, and the fact that I didn't even know that Freddie was Pakistani and that he had changed his name, and there were all these sort of issues, all these things that could easily have stopped him, that in theory should have stopped him from being a star, but you just couldn't deny his talent and the magic that you know, he and Queen, those people coming together, created. And it's really remarkable, and what I love the most about the film and their legacy is that all these years later, nobody cares that he was gay, no one cares that he was Pakistani. It doesn't matter race or gender, just the fact that he was amazingly talented and made amazing music, and that everyone still loves them and loves him despite that. I really think that says something about, you know, society. It's sort of one of those little encouraging things. Rocket Man is sort of similar. I think everyone kind of loves Elton John. We all know he's a diva and a queen, more so than the actual Queen, but this is sort of a review of both, but I actually obviously haven't rewatched Rocket Man, but I will. I'll do a proper review of that later. But Yeah, Rami got an Oscar. He did a great performance. Did just everything. I mean, I thought he was having trouble talking with the teeth in some of the earlier scenes, but then I sort of realised after watching documentaries later that Freddie did kind of talk like that. Um, so, I mean, they cover the fact that he died of AIDS. They cover the fact that he sort of had this sort of experience that I'm sort of having in life now is as a gay man, everyone, you have a family when you're younger of people around you, and then they all go off, the heterosexual ones, and have their own families, and then you're left alone. And that's what happened with Freddie. All the bandmates, they all found women, they had children, they had domestic lives, and he just was sort of a bit lost. And he got into the party scene and the gay scene and the leather scene and all this stuff, and he had some snakes and villains in his midst, and but he managed to see through all them eventually and come crawling back to Queen. And that's probably my favourite scene, when he has to show some humility because he wants to do Live Aid, when he actually finds out that actually was, a thing. And the band, they make him wait. They make him go outside where they decide if they want to get back, and they all knew they wanted to get back, but they were just putting him in his place a little bit because he needed a bit of humbling because of how he had treated them and how big his head had gotten and so forth. But he came back, they got everything together. The performance I hear was amazing. I haven't seen it. I've just seen bits of it. I know what he wore. I've seen how big the crowd was. But I've only seen Madonna's set from Live Aid, the original Live Aid. I really should get the whole concert and watch it. But yeah, it was they did an amazing job recreating it, and I think they did a really good job of telling the story. And maybe they put the story in the movie ahead of the history, which you kind of have to pick, because sometimes if you stick straight to the history, you can't make as dynamic a film. But then obviously if you just write a really great fictional film and you stray too far, you're kind of missing the point. So I'd like to think this film finds a nice balance, but I'd have to do some actual research. Same with Elton's. And if it was I don't know if it was Elton's story, but he sure would have had some input. So who knows how biased that is or isn't. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the film. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, you should. Both of them. And it's just a pity that Madonna's probably not going to get a biopic in her lifetime like she could have, because it was on the cards, but she kind of destroyed it. And I don't think it's going to happen now. And it's a pity. I mean, someone will tell her story after she's gone, which is what she doesn't want. But she couldn't work with anyone and get it made in her life. So I love these films, but I'm really hoping that happens as well. But we'll see.